everyone, welcome back to Fanboy TV South by Southwest Live. We're continuing our 6-hour-long South by Southwest amazing production of just interviewing great films. I'm Gavin Stone. I brought in a special guest today, Caleb from the Austin Toy Museum, because we're all super excited. Okay, I'm pretty sure everyone you see standing here has been inspired by the Muppets and Jim Henson in some way, and we are joined by the one and amazing Frank Oz.
Am I correct in saying I'm probably your first interviewer who's been eating raspberries?
No, actually, you're not.
Really?
True. We've had people eating fruit all the time.
That's really disappointing.
So he has been an inspiration to people, and he's got a brand new documentary called Muppet Guys Talking, which tell everyone what this movie is about.
My mouth is full of raspberries.
Well, you know, Muppet it. We got Muppets out here.
What this is it's five of us original Muppet performers, originators, and we're basically sitting in a room, a lot of film clips, and we're talking how it was to work with Jim Henson and secrets behind what we did, and just giving the feeling of how it was to work in that culture that Jim gave us, which created good stuff, but we had a lot of fun doing it.
What was the driving factor to say, let's sit down and do this now? Because there's been all sorts of Muppet documentaries, like I Love Iron Big Bird.
Oh, okay.
And the one about Elmo and how he evolved. What was the driving force behind, hey, we want to do this right now?
Well, I didn't have any interest in doing it. It was my wife and fellow producer Victoria Lavalm who wanted to do it, because she had seen me with all the guys, you know, the Muppet performers, and for years, and the fun we had, and she wanted to share that with everybody because she works as a strategist and a speaker in business, and she's familiar with businesses that work more out of fear, through politics, things like that. And she felt that was a good thing to share with people. And it took me about a year and a half to say yes. She pushed me for about a year and a half. And then we got the guys together and did it.
How do you tell your wife no for a year and a half?
I don't say no. I say, no, I don't know. I kind of whine.
I don't know anyone's wife for a year and a half. That's some dedication.
It was not because I was against it. I felt, well, who cares about that? Who wants to see that?
Oh, I can tell you so many people. Like that was the one film.
Well, see, the reason is because I joined Jim when I was 19 years old. I'm 36 now.
Woohoo! 36.
Hey, we're the same age.
No, but when I was 19, and so this was my life. I mean, this is essentially like going to the office. So I'm so used to it. I'm appreciative of it, and I know how special it is, but I lived it every day, and so therefore, to me, it was just kind of what I did, and I didn't think anybody would be that interested. My wife told me differently.
Well, we find it like a legacy because we grew up with the Muppets, and it just, I now read my son all sorts of Sesame Street books, and teach him about Cookie Monster, and he loves it too.
I've taught my son through the whole original Muppet show.
That's
He's
so
watched
great.
all those, and he laughs, and he still recognizes Luke Skywalker and all those fun things.
That's great.
What was the funniest story you guys remembered from the good old days?
Okay, here's my problem. I have been asked to do that in interviews so many times, and if I was at a bar and had a beer with you, and I could probably tell you, but under the pressure here
of all the lights and cameras,
you need a beer.
It's just being okay. Tell me a funny story, and I'm terrible that way. It's not that I'm hiding from you. It's just that I live with Jim, and I work that way for about 35 years, so it's hard to zero in one story.
There's so many stories that could have been told. See, I'm watching this film Monday night. I think Caleb and I are going to go watch it over at the Lamar, and I'm like, we got to go watch this. And he's like, yeah, well, let's go do it. So we're going to head over there, and then we're going to be at your panel on Tuesday, and I'm all excited.
Great.
So
I'm sorry, I wasn't avoiding it. I really get kind of.
There's too many stories.
I just kind of feel the pressure. Okay, I got to think of stories.
I'm sure it'd be like when I was a teacher trying to tell a story about being that.
If you have a beer at the bar, it's cool. Then
Yeah.
So that's when we need to go get them liquored up down on 6th Street.
Yeah, we'll go do that.
Well, there's this one time with Miss Piggy. Let me tell you. So the Muppets is something that's been really cross-generational, and I remember when Jim Henson died because I didn't want to go to school. I mean, I was just tore up. Where do you think they would be today if he were still alive?
I'll tell you one thing. Jim, sorry.
That's okay.
That was not too personal, was it?
No, it's okay.
Oh, I don't think he cares. I'm never washing this hand again.
I'll tell you one thing. Jim was so far ahead in television and computers. He actually said to me before computers ever started, he said, Frank, someday if you want to, you could be at home and performing a character 1,000 miles away. And it's true. He was so far ahead. He knew so much. He would revel in the whole computer CG area. He would love that.
But do you think it would have had the same feel if you had done Dark Crystal with CG characters?
Oh no, by no means. I'm not suggesting that's the only thing he'd
Yeah.
do. But Jim was very diversified in his interests, because he would do all manner of things, and one of those things would be CG. I mention that because it would be so new to him now. But no, we would continue, because he was also a brilliant performer, and you know, that would be a waste if he didn't do that. He was brilliant, so he'd be doing that too.
He'd be doing all sorts of fun new things.
Absolutely.
And
I mean, you know, Jim and I never really. When Jim and I talked, Jim didn't do small talk. He didn't just start talking about things. Didn't talk about politics or anything. It was always about projects. Always about exciting projects.
that's the way most of us here are. We always have these projects and we're excited and passionate about them, and just the air of creativity. So I love hearing that. That's how it was then, because I heard stories like he was so creative that it was hard for him to just to explain things sometimes. Someone told me that somewhere. I was like, "Are you sure?" Because I'm going to ask him about that.
Well, to the degree that one is excited and cannot explain because one hasn't formed the idea yet, yes.
Yeah.
We're all that way. If we have excited about an idea, but it's not formed. But once the idea starts forming, of course, yeah.
Once
He
you
was
start
fine.
talking about
Sure,
it,
sure.
starts moving with somebody else.
Sure,
Like
sure.
Me and Gavin were talking about some ideas right before you came.
Yeah, because he does Austin Toy Museum, so we're going to do a toy show. It's going to be pretty fun.
Yeah,
And
so
we
you
have a
can't.
huge Muppets display right now.
Oh, do you?
It's beautiful.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
People love it. And
They brought some of their Muppet display stuff out so you can see it and be like, that takes me down.
Yeah.
I don't think Kermit really looked like that, though. He looks like he got no neck.
He looks pathetic there.
He's like the original one. Hi-do!
It looks pretty sad.
So I want to thank you for coming out and talking about Muppet
pleasure.
Guys Talking.
Pleasure.
We're all super excited. As you can see, you've got a standing audience here who just, they're inspired
That's
by
so
you.
nice. Yeah, so
And
nice.
it's amazing because you're just like the coolest
Well, you
guy
know,
ever.
just so you know, guys, I mean, I happen to be here, but it's also Dave Goles, Bill Beretta, and Fran Brill, and Jerry Nelson. And I'm the guy who kind of stands here, and they're coming in soon. But, you know, no one works in a vacuum, and we need each other. And we only build characters through improvisation with each other, you know? So I'm the kind of guy who's got the spotlight, but it's all of us, you know?
Yeah, we were wondering how many were going to show up as a guy. Just know one of them, but the other ones would have been lots of fun, too.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
to go down Muppet Memory Lane, because I
All
grew up
created
loving
our
Gonzo.
childhood.
Well, what's cool is in this movie, we also talk about things we've never told anybody else before.
Which I'm not going to spoil any of that because we're going to go see that on Monday. I don't want to ask about those yet. I
Yeah,
want to be
yeah,
like,
no,
oh,
no,
what? Like Kermit the Frog started out as a bear or something. Well,
No,
that's
no,
probably
no,
a
no,
bear.
no, 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 we don't go there.
No, we don't quite go there. So thank you for coming out and having a great time. I
My
hope.
pleasure.
Is this your first South by Southwest?
Yes, it is. I thought you were finishing that
Oh,
sentence.
yeah, sorry.
Is
That's
this your
the way
first
I
by
talk.
South by Southwest? And I didn't know.
Yeah, so it's an amazing time downtown. I hope you have a good
Oh, it's
good
fantastic.
fun with it.
We're so
Careful with the
excited.
traffic, though.
We're so excited. Yeah, it's so much fun. It's a great vibe here.
Yeah,
It is.
Great
they
spirit.
have lots of energy right now.
Lots and lots of
we
energy.
were at Create this morning, and it was just nuts.
What?
At South by Southwest Create, they have a lot of different like maker
What's
things.
Create?
They have like we have a booth there, and we talk about how we do like resin casting.
Oh, really?
Making
Okay.
to make silicone.
So it's like a
masks
whole
and things.
maker fair.
Yeah, and then they have 3D printers. They have robots. It's really
cool.
cool. It's still open tomorrow if you want to come by.
Wow, I can't imagine organizing this thing. It's incredible.
Oh,
Lots
it's
of people.
incredible. So
Wow.
thank you for coming on. Have a great time at
pleasure.
Southway. We'll be right back after this with more Fanboy TV South by Southwest Live. Don't
Bye,
go
guys.
anywhere.